So anyway, Scott, you were talking about how much you love Lower Decks season 2, which you literally watched right before we hit record. This was your favorite episode, and why?
Like I said, I think because it had a lot of fun references to other episodes and those little simulation trial things. And I thought it was, I laughed, I had a good time. I enjoyed that. It felt, I felt throughout the entire series that felt like Star Trek. And I think a lot of that is that it's a series instead of, a longer storyline. Each episode's a one and done. They come in, there's the 3 acts, solve a problem, and then the episode ends. And that feels so much more like old Star Trek to me that I grew up with. And so I like that better. I think the characters are great and they're enjoyable in it. And you feel like what they did with Next Generation and Voyager and Deep Space Nine is you've got like a family of people on a ship, and they're working together, and you have the dynamics, and there's tension and there's drama and all these things that happen when you have a group of people with different personalities from different backgrounds, but it plays out in a way that doesn't feel like Game of Thrones in space. It's fun and it's funny, and there's the adventure, and there's the aliens, and all the stuff that you can do with an animated series, with like the different types of aliens that you can't do with like a live action, like in Prodigy, they've got the little blob character, like you can't do that in a I guess now with CG. I know they did that in
Orville.
Yeah, Orville. They had a character like that, but so much more freedom with stuff. People flying out airlocks and all that kind of stuff. It's so much easier to do in animated. And I just feel like it's so fun, and they have great characters, and the writing's great, and you get time in each of these episodes to learn more about the different characters and the interactions and stuff. And I'm always pleasantly surprised with where they go with the different characters and such.
Everybody that's listening in right now, Scott is dancing around the fact that his background is the orgy scene in the previous episode. So he's pretending like he likes all these other things, but this is really the part that he liked the most.
Yeah. Well, and it's like adult humor, which I think is cool. It doesn't post punches on that stuff as well. I thought that was cool. Like this whole episode, this whole scenario, and it had a nudity, and not obviously like X-rated nudity, but a lot of implied stuff and the language and adult sort of things that I think work for contemporary audiences and stuff like that, without feeling like it's got to kind of play it safe and nerf the visuals and the language, but. I thought this was great because it was like, oh, we're going to take this episode that we know from TNG and make this crazy spin on it. Take it to the logical crazy conclusion of an entire orgy on a spaceship and stuff like that.
And right now, Rico's screaming, "It was in original series too."
You don't know me.
That's much though.
I gotta say, I mean, I love in general just how they've really nailed the nostalgia of the Next Generation, and just taking it up that fun 21st century notch. It almost makes me wish that it was an hour-long series. Seriously.
Yeah.
Like every episode was an hour. I mean, because they pack a lot into a half hour, and they nail it every time as far as I'm concerned. But man, an hour would just be like, what am I gonna do when it's done? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so fun. So cool. The nostalgia in terms of like even your background, Ryan, with the
oh man, I loved it when I saw that.
That's
the Beverly Crusher and Deanna Troy leotards, stretchy leotards, because we always talk about that on the seventh rule, and it's perfect. And then they got this dude dressed whatever. We got Napoleon here. We got like a jester or something.
Well, you got the Napoleon dude. I think that's a throwback to Generations, right? Because
or when Worf
was promoted,
throws Gates overboard.
Data gives her the shove. But that's what I thought of. But I mean, I guess
who knows? But it just
what it looks like to me.
Right. That's it.
I still love that they're just nice to each other. I think Scotty got at this a little bit in the context of the family aspect, but they're good people. Like the main characters, they get along. I mean, often when you have these sort of adult cartoons, they get kind of vicious. The characters are kind of vicious to each other. And I don't feel that with this. I feel like they're genuinely good people. And even the peripheral characters, like in the most recent episode, the Three Ships one, that scene at the end when the first officer had sent that guy to go talk to Boy, and we're like, aw, that was really sweet. That was very heartwarming. I like that combined with the good plots and the Easter eggs. And they're genuinely like, you feel like I would want to know these people as opposed to, a lot of cartoon people where you're like, I don't want to come anywhere near them. They're going to do something crazy.
And then they just took it to that next level with like last week's episode, which, showing an adventure aboard the Klingon ship, the Vulcan ship. And there was something that I thought happened in Lower Decks that's never happened. Correct me if I'm wrong. People in the panel, people in the audience. We have never seen a Vulcan ship in battle before. Am I wrong? Am I right?
I thought the same thing when I saw that scene, but it sounds like Muhammad might have something.
Well, I remember in Enterprise, there was a Vulcan ship that had been destroyed when it went to go help the Enterprise. When it went to go help the Enterprise, but I don't remember seeing the battle sequence with it. Like, I think they got to the Vulcan ship and like, oh, it's destroyed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I remember thinking the same thing. That's good knowledge. I remember thinking like, oh, finally we get to see a Vulcan ship in action, because we've barely even seen them. I mean, Enterprise, we get to see them more than anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love how they did that, that basic, we're doomed, we're going to die. And all of a sudden, boom, they just come right up there. It almost reminded me of First Contact when the Defiant is basically screwed, and then all of a sudden the Enterprise, it's the Enterprise, boom, and then they come through and save the day.
Do you remember in season 4 of Enterprise, there was that 3-parter with Vulcan when the High Command had kind of gone rogue and they were going to attack. I don't remember if they actually had any fighting in it though. When they were going to go attack the Andorians, I don't remember if any fighting actually happens. I remember the Enterprise got in the middle of it all to try to stop it. I don't remember if there was any like skirmishes before that or anything.
Man, when you said that 3-parter, I immediately got worried that you're going to say that one at the beginning of season 4. I'm just like, oh.
No, not that. That was like 2 parts. That was terrible.
I thought it was a 3-part. I guess it was because the end of the 3rd season ended with that.
Season,
Thank goodness.
Like, how many times do we have to bring back the Nazis? All right, we've seen the Nazis. They're terrible. We don't need to keep bringing them back.
No.
Yeah.
So do we think is that that Vulcan girl, is she going to end up on the Cerritos? Is that
totally
seemed
Oh, but here's my question with that, because I think that's everybody's assumption, whether it's going to be in this upcoming season finale or if it's season 3, probably in this final episode is my guess. But do you think, my first thought was she and Mariner are going to butt heads. You kind of usually when you bring in someone new, they usually are new to butt heads with the lead. Do you think that she and Mariner are going to butt heads, or you think they're going to become fast friends? Rico?
Thank you, Ryan. I think they're going to be BFFs. And I say that because, think about it. She's kind of like the Mariner on that ship, according to how Vulcans, say that she's out of control or what.
On the scale instead of the meter scale.
Yeah. She's almost like the Mariner. She was basically like the Mariner of the Vulcan ship. And I could see them potentially like getting together and just creating a bigger headache for the captain and just I don't know.
Well, I think I was gonna say, I
Right.
think maybe that's the arc, right? She comes in and she's the new piece to the puzzle, or whatever you want to call it, and she disrupts the kind of cohesion that Mariner and Boimler have kind of settled into their
Right.
groove, because this season was a lot about that, right? A lot about like them two kind of really kind of coming to terms with who they were and their relationship with each other and stuff like that, and accepting each other's roles in the ship and stuff like that. And she can come in and kind of disrupt that, and then that sort of gets resolved over a couple episodes, or after some adventures and bonding and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah. I was thinking maybe she could shake things up a bit because they're so similar in their place on the ship. That could also be not a great thing too. And I don't know. There's some room for jealousy too between, because Boimler and the new Vulcan could get along swimmingly, and then Mariner would be like, "Wait, what about me?"
Yep.
True.
That's
I was
my
actually
thinking.
wondering. I was wondering
think-
if it would be the opposite, where Boimler would actually be jealous of her because she's going to be the smart person. He's used to being like sort of.
That'd be a nice
Yeah.
twist. See, I was expecting that like Boimler would be like, "Oh, she's so cool," and Rutherford and Tendi would be, "Oh, she's so great," and Mariner would be like, "Well, what's so great about this girl down?"
That does make more sense.
Yeah. Yeah, well, but there's also
that's more of the obvious thing. I think what you're saying, it would be a nice twist that we're not expecting, where Boimler's like, "Hey, I'm supposed to be the smart one," but
well, and also Boimler's kind of the follow the rules kind of guy, and even though she's not necessarily follow the rules on the Vulcan ship, when she comes into Starfleet, she's probably going to be more tempted to be the kind of person to follow the rules because she wants to fit in and impress, and because she's still got that Vulcan side that wants to do what you're supposed to do. And so there might be some tension there, as well as like, oh, who she thinks she is, knowing the rules better than me or something.
The big question is, does she sleep in the hall too?
Wait,
Yeah.
you know what? We have all these predictions, or we just never see her character again.
There's that, right? Yeah.
She serves on the Titan, and we see her.
Improbable. Are we going to see that Klingon captain again? That's got to come into play again, right?
Oh, I think
certainly
so.
hear an outcome. I'm sure it'd be weird if we have no outcome from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also interesting that it seemed like that last episode kind of opened the door for that similar formula of partially serialized and partially episodic that Deep Space Nine did so well, to where each episode is its own thing, but there's an overarching storyline that carries over from episode to episode, and they opened the door to that in episode 9, right?
They did that season 1, episode 9 as well, because that led right into the season finale last season. Because that was when it came out that Mariner's mom was the captain. It was right before that finale, and then that led into the finale.
Yeah. Or just these like that, just like little tidbits of stories that you can kind of, get a little bit to the storyline, and then there's like 3 or 4 episodes where you don't hear anything about it, and then they touch back into that little storyline again and kind of give you a resolution or another like chapter of it as they move on.
And Linda, I was just going to say, Linda in the chat says that she believes T'Lyn is a Romulan spy.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Wasn't that was the original plan for, well, not as a spy, but the original plan for Saavik was she was supposed to be part Romulan, but then they never followed through on that.
Really?
Right? Yeah, I remember reading that at some point, that like originally she was supposed to be like half Romulan or something, but then they changed that. Then they replaced for Star Trek 6. Then they brought the Vulcan trader lady. I can't remember her name. Kim Cattrall. I don't remember what her name was in the show.
We've got a special guest appearance in the final episode, right?
I don't know. Who's that?
So what was it? I was just looking at it. It was she's from Next Generation. She was the ensign that spills hot chocolate on Picard.
Oh, she's back.
Yeah.
Ensign
Sonia
Gomez?
Gomez, something like that. Yeah.
You know that?
Oh, that's hilarious. See, I love that. I love the fact that they do stuff like that. It's like they're just bringing back like references that may not have been as big as, say, like the main cast, but you remember it, and here they are again. How cool
it's Gomez.
Dope,
yeah, she's Captain
Sonia Gomez. Yeah,
she's Captain Gomez now on Lower Decks. That's what it says. We're looking at trekmovie.com. Yeah, check it out.
Promoted fast.
They gotta have her spill coffee still or something.
Oh yeah. And that's great because you watch that episode of Next Generation, and that whole scene with Picard is so funny, and it has. It has that feel of that Lower Decks of somebody doing something stupid or like foolish, and then they're trying to fix it to clean up and everything like that. All this she's trying to like wipe it off his shirt, and he's just like, no, just I'll go change. It'll be easier, and yeah.
I mean, it would almost be a missed opportunity if she doesn't do it like to like the Admiral.
Right.
Oh my God, Admiral, I'm so sorry. Here, let me just get it up for you.
Right. Because it's got to be that kind of throwback thing, right? Where they
got
like,
I mean, that was like her thing,
Yeah,
that's her thing.
That like haunts her. Like how ironic or something, like to like haunt your entire career. Like you spill hot chocolate on somebody once, and that just follows you through your entire carear.
Brilliant.
But that is canon. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That's just so cool.
Brilliant.
I love it.